Welcome to News Leader 9 at noon. I'm Tiffany Maddox. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a live look at our Alert Center Skycam at Callaway Resort and Gardens as we get a check of the weather from Tyler Allender. Hey, Tyler. All right, thanks so much, Tyler. We begin with developing details on a local pastor committing suicide outside of his lawyer's office in Columbus. Christopher Smith was on trial for multiple charges, including child molestation and sodomy, according to a Facebook post. His attorney, Siobhan Thomas II, the rape trial started this week, and they were about to start on their last witness Wednesday morning. The judge then called for a 5-minute recess, and that's when Smith went behind Thomas's office on 9th Street and killed himself. The post goes on to say Thomas and his mother found Smith's body. The coroner tells us Smith died from a single gunshot wound to the head and was pronounced dead around 1:15 yesterday afternoon. We spoke with a friend of Smith's who was disturbed by what he saw.
Saw my friend in the back right there. He got himself, shot himself. I just came to support him. He had to go to court. And that's all I know.
Smith was the pastor of Word of Truth Outreach Ministries on Casita Avenue in Columbus. Attorney Siobhan Thomas II also writing on social media, quote, "I am not good. If you don't hear from me for a while, you know why," end quote. He's asking for prayers for his client and the family. In an update from the Fountain City, a woman severely injured from an accident on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard as a result of a drag racing dies. 64-year-old Jennifer Durham passed away around 6 yesterday morning at Piedmont Columbus Regional, according to Muskogee County's coroner. We spoke to Durham's daughter last Friday. She told us her mother sustained cracked ribs, punctured lungs, and a tear in her liver. Durham was on her way home from Phoenix City on October 9th when she was hit by a Dodge Ram truck on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard around 7:30 that night. We're learning more on what happened that night. We obtained a report saying the truck's driver was under the influence at the time of the crash. They are facing several charges, including DUI, hit and run, reckless driving, and serious injury by vehicle. No word yet if the last charge has been updated due to Durham's passing. Of course, for updates on this story and others that you see in our newscast, you can download our free WTVM mobile news app from your Apple or Google Play Store. In Alabama, folks in Lee County will decide who leads House District 79, which includes Auburn. The incumbent representative for State House District 79, Joe Laverne, faces a challenge this year from Libertarian candidate Amanda Friesen. Gray TV's Monet Stevens tells us what each candidate wants for their district.
Alabama District 79 Joe Laverne is hoping to secure a re-election in his district with his voters in mind.
They want us to continue to create opportunities throughout our state, but want to keep limited government in their lives and want smart decisions to help them move forward.
Laverne's opponent, Libertarian candidate Amanda Friesen, says she wants to make sure more voices are heard in the district.
I feel like our voices have been silenced, some of us by choice because we just stay silenced, but some of us by force, especially with things like ballot access restrictions, voter restrictions.
Both candidates have a vision for the state of Alabama. Friesen wants to see change in the state's prison system.
The health care and the prisons is substandard, and so when you have that overcrowded, you have more diseases, you have more sicknesses, you have people not getting the care they need. They're dying from that. They're dying from lack of nutrition.
While Laverne wants to continue to prioritize education for K-12 and college students.
It's important not only because of Auburn University being in my district, but we're very prominent public school system in the Auburn area, and our schools are important, and that's how we move Alabama forward.
The victory for these candidates falls into the hands of the voters on November 8th.
Polls open at 7 a.m. on Election Day in just 20 days. The last day to register to vote in Alabama is this coming Monday. In Alabama, voters will not only decide on state officials, but they will vote on 10 amendments, one of them being Amendment 7. The amendment will make sure Alabama counties, cities, and towns are clear on how to spend public funds when it comes to economic development. A public notice for projects will no longer be required to be published in the largest paper, simply any paper that's in circulation in the county. Sonny Brassfield, the executive director of the Association of County Commissions, calls Montgomery's recent announcement of a new bottling plant a good example of how things will work across the state.
It's a good example of what we'd like to do is for every county to have the ability to use these powers and do it all the same way. You know, conduct the public hearings the same way, all of the requirements, then everybody's doing economic development the same way.
At least one grassroots organization doesn't support this due to the publication portion of the amendment. However, when the amendment was a bill, it passed through the State House with no opposition. And in the spirit of spooky season, we want to make sure you have an updated list of trick-or-treat times for your city or county. In Alabama, Auburn will start neighborhood trick-or-treating on Halloween night from 6 to 8. Phoenix City will hold trick-or-treating hours between 6 p.m. and 8 Eastern time. Smith Station will start the fun at 5:30 to 8 p.m. on Halloween night, and in Valley, trick-or-treating will go from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time on Halloween. West Point, Georgia times are from 6 to 8 p.m. Of course, we'll continue to update you with that list as we get more times. Still ahead on Newsletter 9 at noon, different temperatures have varying effects on crops. These changes greatly impact farmers. We'll tell you how when we come back.